Hey guys, Amanda here from A Beautiful Pursuit, and today we're going to do a quick makeup tutorial on this look right here. Lately we've been having fun mixing warm and cool tones together. Creates a lot of dimension, and it's also great for that spring to summer transition. So if you're at all interested in learning about more clean beauty alternatives to add to your makeup routine, we hope that you'll stick around. Everything will be listed below so you don't have to write anything down, and let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to start with priming our face with the UNIK Age Defying Day Cream. This is a day cream, but it's also loaded with hyaluronic acid and sesame oil. So it's great for light, quick absorbing hydration, which makes also the perfect primer. And then we're going to move into the Gressa Skin Minimalist Illuminating Serum. And of course, you want to shake it really well. But it's a lovely I would say it's translucent, but it also has a pearlescent finish to it. And I'm just going to pat it on my cheekbones and anywhere I want kind of a dewy finish. And it's definitely very light and absorbs quickly, so you don't have to worry about it being greasy or too shiny. We're going to move on with the Gressa Minimalist Corrective Serum Foundation. As you all know, we rave about this quite a bit. It is broccoli seed serum as the base. You can see, you just use the dropper. I tend to use my finger and wipe it off the tip of the dropper because it's less pigmented right there. Just the nature of it, it does settle. So if you squeeze it out of the dropper, it's going to be more pigmented. And I also like that. I have that control because then I can put the more pigmented parts where I need it. But this does allow contamination in your makeup because you're touching it and then putting it back in the bottle, so you got to make sure you have really clean hands. A lot of people say that this is hard to work with or it dries too quick, and I think that's why I do apply it all over first so I can quickly spread it and buff it in. So I'm just using sweeping motions all over my face until I feel like I get a nice even coverage. And you can see it has beautiful coverage, but up close you can still see your skin. Your skin's still able to breathe, and it's actually improving the condition of your skin with the botanical oils and all kinds of amazing things that are in this foundation. So I'm working pretty quickly, as you can see, and then I'm just going to go through once I've spread it out, and I'll start doing like a stippling motion, which I'm just pressing it into the skin. And at this point, it's going to start setting a semi-matte powdery finish, so you don't want to sweep anymore. If you need to make it more even, you just want to dot, and anywhere you want to take away, you would sweep. So you'll see I'll kind of sweep down my neck, or I'll sweep around my nose, just to make sure that I don't have too much lingering in any sections. Stippling also presses it into your skin, and it's going to kind of keep it from accumulating or getting thick or patchy. It's just really going to press it in for a nice, pretty finish. You definitely don't have to do this, but it's just going to give you more of a natural look. And now we're going to go in with the Hynt Beauty Duet Perfecting Concealer. This is a full coverage concealer. It's definitely very pigmented, but it also is full of avocado oil and a few seed butters, so it's really nourishing and moisturizing. So though it is pretty thick, it's also moisturizing, so you're not going to get that cakey, dry in your fine lines type look. So just take my ring finger, put where I'm dark under the eyes, anywhere I'm red or have a blemish. I'm going to take this Zoeva concealer buffer. It's from their bamboo collection. And see how I'm just going to press it into my skin in small motions. Anytime you get in there and sweep, you're just going to take away the product and plus any of the work you've done with your foundation. So pressing into your skin is going to give you maximum coverage and also not ruin any of the work you've already laid down. As you can see, I can get quite perfectionist with this, so I did speed up the video just a little bit, but this just goes to show you how natural that you can make it look, and you just want to kind of disperse it all over your face. Make sure that there's nothing thick or obvious laying around, and of course you always go around your nose, anywhere that you're red hormonally, anywhere, again, like I said, you have a blemish. And you did see me wipe it away from my eyelids because it kind of acts as a primer, but I don't want too much because it might get too thick once I start applying product. And again, you don't necessarily have to take your concealer all the way up to your lash line on your eyes. I think that's sometimes where we can get some creasing because we're not necessarily dark right at the lash line. So just hit kind of under the eye where you have that blue circle. Now we're going to go in with the Root Setting Silk. It is a mica and aloe combination, and it is translucent. And I'm just going to set that concealer area so it doesn't go anywhere. I just get it on my brush really nicely and kind of tap it off, but you'll see I do press under my eye area, and that's important to press out your concealer if it's gotten in any of your fine lines, because once you set something, that's the way it's going to stay. So if you have already creased your concealer and then you set it, it's going to stay that way. So again, just going lightly under the eyes and anywhere I've put the concealer, around my nose, and anywhere you want to absorb any shine, but this foundation normally doesn't allow for much shine. So you don't really have to worry about that. It already dries kind of semi-powdery. We're also going to go in with the Root Bronze Mineral Powder. And this is my favorite brush. It is the Perez powder brush. But as you can see, it's really fluffy and it's extremely dense. And I am actually just using a light coating, buffing this all over my face to give me color. This is actually bronzing. This is not contouring just yet. It's just adding a little bit of color back into my face where the sun would probably normally give me some color. So again, just working it all over my cheekbones and my neck. We want to make sure our neck matches our face. Now I'm going to go in with the same Root Bronze Mineral color using a Furless contouring brush. And I'm really going to concentrate in the areas under my cheekbones, anywhere I want to add that definition. And I will apologize in advance. I'm extremely fair and the lighting we're using is very cool and harsh, so this looks streaky. I promise it is not like that in real life. I will buff it out a little more, but you'll see in the pictures in the end that it does not look like that. So let's just use this as a point of reference to where you want to contour. Again, under the cheekbones, it's going to give that added lift and definition, and then up on the temples kind of brings a more narrow frame, and then anywhere you want to add more dimension. Sometimes I'll go into my chin. I do have a little bit of a cleft, and then again you want to bring this color down your neck because we want our neck to match our face. Again, buffing that out because it looks really harsh, but at the end I promise it is not. Now we're going to go in with the Cate McNabb eyelid primer, or eyeshadow primer I should say. I just dab it evenly onto the eyelids before applying my eyeshadow. It's going to give you a longer lasting look, and it's going to prevent any creasing. And again, it's probably easiest to use your ring finger because it's the most gentle of your fingers, while you can kind of tap it out nice and even. And you can't take it all the way up to your brow bone since I always put product all the way up that high. We're going to go in with the Red Apple Gluten-Free Mineral Eyeshadow in Buttercream. And this is a very light, almost white color. Well, it's creamy. And you see I usually pat it all over and then I blend it in. This isn't going to be a focus color for us. We're just using it to kind of create a nice even base and wash out any of our skin tone color, because I really want the colors we use to be vivid. So an easy way to do that is to put down a creamy beige or white color. The closer it is to white, the more vibrant your eyeshadows are going to look. Now we're going to go in with the Red Apple in Beachy Keen. And this is probably my favorite transition color. And it kind of really helps warm up your eye area. We're going to use a mix of warm and cool colors, so we don't want to go too cool or then your eye kind of looks bruised almost, or you kind of look a little bit lifeless. So adding warmth in there, even just a little bit, is always a good idea. So just buffing this back and forth until it's really blended out. And with this, we're using the Bdelluim Tools 783 Bamboo Collection Brush. And I do always buff out in circles towards the end because we're going for that winged look. So if you see me doing circles towards the edges there, just like that, that's what we're aiming for. Here we're going to go in and do our crease with the Elate color Kindle. It looks a little lighter on screen, but it's a nice kind of burnt amber, burnt reddish orange color. And we're just going to add a little more depth and dimension to our crease area and just continue to work it back and forth until it's nicely married with our Beachy Keen. And this one I'm using the Zoeva soft definer brush, and it's also from their bamboo collection. Now we're going to go in with the Elate eyeshadow in Modish. It's a nice warm plummy purple, and we're going to go in our corner and our crease. We're going to try and keep it on the outer edge of our eye. This is the Sigma E36 blending brush. It is a synthetic brush, and it is probably my favorite brush. I would love to find one in a more sustainable material, but this one is so skinny and fine, but yet you can buff with it while you're applying color pretty densely. So as you see, we're just hitting the outer corner of our eye and then blending it inward. You don't want to go too far with the intensity. You can bring the color all the way in, but once most of the product is off of your brush, and again, I'm working it back and forth, and there will be a little bit of a harsh line, but that's okay because we're going to go back in with our lid color in a little bit and make sure that everything looks great. We're going for a cut crease here. So again, I'm bringing it towards the inside of the eyelid, but very lightly once most of the pigment is off of your brush. And a good thing to note is anywhere you put your brush down, the first place you put it down is going to have the most pigment. So that goes for eyeshadows, that goes for blushes. So if you're not wanting a huge concentration, like on the center apple of your cheek, it's easier to do it on the side and then buff it out from there. So we want the most color concentration on the very corner of our eye, so that's where I start. Now we're going to go in with this Mega Blender brush. This is the Furless Pro 7E, and it is huge, and it is dense, and it is fluffy, and this is the perfect brush to give you that airbrush look. So this is going to marry that Modish color with Kindle and Beachy Keen and just kind of make them very seamless. So you just want to work it back and forth. And again, I don't want to go over too much of my intense color, but more above it. And here, we're going to go in with an icy cool color, and it is Iced Mocha from Red Apple. It's almost a taupey lavender silver color. It's really gorgeous. And it's quite a juxtaposition against those warm colors. So it really makes your eyes pop. And again, I'm just pressing it onto my lid. And we are going for a cut crease look. So that means, we don't want to blend it with the other color, but we want to make it very obvious that our lid is one color and our crease is another. And pressing your eyeshadows in is just going to give you kind of maximum pigment. And here I'll go back in with just a little bit of that Modish color just to make sure that I didn't dampen any of the intensity, because we definitely want that to be obvious and dramatic. And you could get way more dramatic than this if you wanted to. If you're wondering, we just keep all of our loose pans of eyeshadow in a Z palette. Here we're going to go in with the Thrive Causemetics Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner. This is in the gray color, or they call it Hoda. And it's just a really gorgeous, long-lasting eyeliner. Super pigmented. I'm just going to go in the waterline here. And a lot of people I see pull down the bottom part of their eye when they're doing this. I simply push up and in, and it kind of makes it pop out, and that way you're not pulling too much on your eye. I think I pull on my eye enough, so I just don't want to do any more damage than I really need to. But again, just push up and then you're not really going towards your eyeball as much as you are hitting that internal lash line. Now we're going to go in with the Josephine Cosmetics HD Mineral Eyeliner, and this stuff is amazing. The way the tip is shaped, the formulation, like it's just super, super easy to do. dramatic winged liner. So, you know, you always want to hit your lash line and then go back and try and perfect and make your shape. I could probably sit here all day and try to make it perfect, but that's how we all get in trouble. We'll end up looking like Kung Fu Panda, and we don't want to do that. So, small strokes and understanding that it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, see how I'm doing short strokes right at the lash line, and then I'll go back and perfect and make it as thick as it needs to be. But sometimes you can kind of make this really pretty shape and then you don't get close enough to your lash line and there's that white space, and we definitely don't want to do that. Of course, I always have one eye that looks better than the other. It's usually this one, and so then I'll probably go back and try to make the other one look just as good. Remember, leave well enough alone, well enough alone. I do love this stuff because it will last all day and it is so black and pigmented. Now I'm going to go in with the new Evolution Mascara. It's in black. This is a drier formula and it builds really pretty. So just definitely start at the base and build upwards, and it makes for nice, long, and fluttery lashes. Here I'm going to go in with the Thrive Causemetics Infinity Eyebrow Pencil. And this is a great alternative to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It's extremely small and easy to work with. It's the color Audrey. And you'll see with my brow, I'll do one in regular time. I always hit the foundation or the base of my eyebrow first. Just short, small strokes. You want to keep it really natural to where it looks like hairs. But you really just kind of want to build that foundation underneath your eyebrow first. And that's what's going to give you your emphasis. And then I work back up the tail of my eyebrow right until the arch. And then come over to... I'll kind of brush it in the other direction and see where my hairs grow out. You can't see them because they're almost blonde. But you want to hit right there again. Short, small strokes. Just keep working at it. And this isn't extremely dark. You almost want to go a little bit lighter than your brow color. That gives you some room to work with. So here you can see the difference of a brow. I haven't done that much work to it, but it really frames your face. And in comparison to my other one, it just makes all the difference. So with this one, we'll just pick it up and go a little quicker. But again, you want to build that nice foundation beneath. Just think of a house. You need a good foundation. Your brows do too. And then usually I take it back up the tail. You don't want to make it too sharp. Just keep it nice and light. And then brush down and start from where your hairs grow out. Don't go over that because then it's going to look like you've drawn on your brow. And then just go in and fill in anything sparse. I'm always sparse at the corner of my brow. And then brush out. And you'll see if you've missed any spots. That also allows for you to kind of diffuse any of your pencil marks so it looks extremely natural. I'm going to go back in with the Jane Iredale Brow Gel. And this is in the color Blonde. This stuff is really pigmented. And so there's a lot that comes out on this brush, so I always wipe it off because I've ruined a good brow with this. I wish they would make more of a delicate brush, but I love the formula. It just keeps everything in place. And here I'm going to go in with the Flynn & King Balance Facial Toner with Aloe and Rose Geranium. Anytime that you add moisture to your face over your makeup, it's going to bring your hydration levels back up, and it's also going to pull the makeup to where it looks more like your skin as opposed to sitting on top of your skin. Now we're going to go in with the Kira Weiss Cream Blush in Embrace, which is a really pretty pastel peachy pink, and it is extremely cool in tone, which is going to be a nice juxtaposition to our bronzer and contour color. Similar to what we did with our eyeshadows and our lid color and our crease color. The best way to go about a cream blush is to start in the center of your apple, which is actually not the front facing plane of your face, but more to the side, and then work out in a circle. So So start and then just work circularly and kind of go out. Again, your ring finger is usually the easiest thing to work with. If you want to use a brush, you can do that as well. But I just like the control you get with your fingers. And again, you want to take it up your cheekbone, but not too much. Just enough to marry the colors together, but not be super obvious. Not that this is a super obvious color anyway. It's definitely more vivid in person, but it's extremely pigmented and pastel. There's really nothing like it on the market, so it's extremely unique, and it would look good on a lot of different skin tones. And this is great also because you can keep layering. You can add the intensity as much as you want. So always start small and then build. I'm going to go in with the Tata Harper Highlight in Very Illuminating. I believe it's the only shade she has on. It's a silver toned pearl color. And I'm just going to hit my cheekbones. And I always take it up around the side of my temple. It just makes for that pretty illumination. Again, you just kind of dab back and forth until it's blended in. This can get heavy-handed, or I guess you could get heavy-handed with it, I should say, because it is such a cool-toned color. And again, you could pop it in the corner of your eyes, on your brow bone, and just blend that out a little bit. And the good thing about cream highlighters is that they're easy to diffuse if you do get too much or do get heavy-handed. I go on the bridge of my nose and then on the Cupid's bow. I'm going to go in with the Cate McNabb lip crayon in neutral. I don't know what else to say other than this is a great neutral color. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. It's just a great lip liner for basically any color. I'm just going to go in and give some shape to my lips and fill it in a little bit. And this also gives your lipstick or lip color, whatever you wear over it, some longevity. It almost acts as a primer. Now we're going to go in with the Causemetics lipstick in Rose Water. And these lipsticks are just absolutely divine. They have green tea, rosehip, grapeseed oils, super powerful antioxidants, which kind of help fight free radicals and reverse damage done to your lips. It also has mango and shea butters to help heal, so it's really silky and refreshing. And I also love this cool toned hue. I'm going to top all that off with the Vapor Elixir Plumping Lip Gloss in Entice. This is definitely a really great formulation. It's never sticky or tacky. It just gives that nice shine and dimension to really pull everything together. And speaking of pulling together, that completes the look. If you wanted to wear it just as is, you could definitely do that, and it's still natural. But if you wanted to add a little bit more, you could take the Baddington lashes, and I think I'm going to use the style Kennedy. They're kind of a nice straightforward lash with a lot of length, and you can add that to your look. Maybe if this is a night out or a date night. We're going to use the True Glue Adhesive. This is definitely a natural alternative to eyelash glues, which I think a lot of people don't think about, but it's definitely a low rating, non-toxic product, so I would definitely recommend an alternative there. And again, if you just want to kind of put these on, take your tweezers and help you push both ends down. That's the most crucial part because everyone's worn eyelashes and they've popped off down there, which can be annoying. Again, these Baddington lashes are silk lashes, so they're completely cruelty-free. Even though there are a lot of mink lashes out there that say cruelty-free, we're just not there in person, so we never know. So silk is a great alternative. So again, in applying, you just want to apply it down the spine of the eyelash. Let it dry a little bit so it gets tacky. I like to break the spine down a little bit, make it more flexible, and curve it to the shape of my eye, and then apply. And again, you want to stick it right up on your lash line. And there you have it. It adds a little bit more drama, but without looking overdone. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and a mix of warm and cool tones, and we'll see you next time.